Okay, hear you. Let's call the board meeting today, November 11th, 2024. Official time, what, about 6:15 to order. We had a lot going on at the committee of the whole meeting, and we went over a little bit, but we got a lot of work done in a short amount of time. So roll call, please.
Anastasio?
Here.
Doxy?
He will be.
No, he left.
You have to leave?
Washburn?
Here.
Bhatia?
Here.
Venturini?
Here.
Karas?
Here.
DeGroot?
He's here. Yeah, Doxy is excused. Next item, Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so we have a presentation of the introduction of the new South Shore Fire Department Chief and swearing in.
And then we've got the Honorable Judge Begley. No, we are very happy to welcome Chief Hoffman. We are excited to have him join the department. And then the Honorable Judge Begley is going to come in and do the swearing in for us.
And then, Chief, if you wanted to add a few comments or whatever, we've got an open mic right there at the podium.
Prescribed to me to the best of my ability. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Wisconsin. And that I will faithfully discharge. The duties of said office. To the best of my abilities. So help me God.
Time. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the village board for trusting me. Thank you to the Police and Fire Commission of the Village of Mount Pleasant for choosing me. And can't say enough, I am thankful for this great community. I'm looking forward to what we're able to do in light of a past that we're all very proud of, and we're only going to get more proud of with the great things we're going to accomplish together. We've got a great staff. I'm blessed to have Chief Knitter staying on with us. Hopefully very long, many years. I'm happy to report that statement.
Chief? Is that an announcement? Yeah.
Chief Knitter and I have been friends for a very long time, and I think very highly of the man, and I'm very honored to come behind him. Also in the audience is Chief Howard. I'm very thankful that he is here. Chief has been my previous chief in the city of Waukesha. I think we were able to accomplish many great things together, and I look forward to this greatness continuing here in Mount Pleasant. My goals are always to have a community that's a fire department that's responsive to our community, that's serving our community and protecting our community, and that's very important to me. Look forward to meeting with each and every one of you when the time is available on your calendars. Would love to talk more about where you see the vision of our organization moving forward and how I can help you accomplish that. So, thank you.
I have to tell you that the oath that you just took is way longer and way more serious than any of us board members have to take.
It was even longer. That's the longest oath I've only had to take a couple in my life. But that one, yes, really a lot of words. I'm glad I didn't have to remember that. You did a nice job of chunking it up very nicely. Thank you. Thank you all.
Welcome aboard, yep. Okay, and so with that, we go to public comment. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments on any matter. Please fill out a comment form, and the president will recognize you. Use the microphone and state your name and address for the public record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment? Okay, anybody out in the chambers wishing to speak publicly? Going once, going twice? With nobody coming forward, then we can close public comment and we can move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? So that motion carries. So under new business, we've got proposed 2025 budget for the village of Mount Pleasant and setting the tax levy. So we have a public hearing. Do we have a presentation on this first? Or just?
Tommy, is there any staff comments on this, or just?
Yes, Kathy will go over a few things.
So, yeah, before I open up the public comment part of this, Kathy, if you'd kindly fill us in on what we need to know tonight.
Okay, now you can hear me. Yes, this is the budget that we've been talking about over the last few months. And as outlined in the resolution, this will be proposing a levy of that $712,600 to be levied. This is also establishing that recycling fee of $45 per residential property and the stormwater fee of $60 for each residential property. Sets out the appropriation units as attached in that proposed budget, which is available on our website for everyone to view. So this is that's an adoption of this process that we have been going through for the last few months. If anybody would like to has any questions for me or would like me to review anything else on that budget, I'd be more than happy to field any questions.
So just for anybody that's listening in or would have questions later out of the general public, would you just walk us again, either between you and Tammy, the process that we go through to get to tonight? That we had previous meetings, that it was publicly noticed, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. The process actually starts for the village in July, where the finance department actually puts together like a salary schedule. We meet with each one of the department heads. We have them prepare portions of the budget. We prepare portions of that said budget as well. We have meetings on that, and then we give that initial proposed budget to the board for review. That was done in September of this year at a publicly noticed meeting. After that process, we actually fine-tune that budget. We bring it back to the board. We did that in October of this year at a meeting that was publicly noticed and available for everyone to come to. And then we are required to actually put a publication in the newspaper. That publication was published at least 15 days prior to this meeting, this public hearing. And that is notice to the public that that budget is being adopted. It also gives that levy and the potential mill rate in that publication as well. So that was in the newspaper, I think more than actually 15 days ago, so there's ample notice of this meeting. And then the purpose of this meeting here tonight is for the public to be able to put any questions out that they have on the budget and provide any comment or concerns or comments that they would have on this process.
One clarification, that the tax levy itself is not known, I mean, the mill rate is not known, correct?
The mill rate should be somewhere around that $5.96, which is less than it was in last year's tax bill. We don't have it finalized yet because the assessed values were just finalized last week. And with the election, we're a little bit busy, so we didn't actually calculate it out, but we're within a penny, one way or the other, of that mill rate being set.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Again, I mean, this is something that has been before the board a couple of times. You know, we all had, opportunity to take a look at it, ask questions, get questions worked out. None of our questions really had any material impact on the budget or the mill rate or where any of this was going. I think that the board was satisfied over, what we're getting into and approving, but statutorily, this is one of our biggest responsibilities, is setting the budget for the following year. Did you have any final thoughts then, Kathy?
No, actually, I just wanted to thank staff for all of the help that everyone put into this document. It's a large document, and it takes a lot of work. Heather put a lot of work into it. Myra put a lot of work into it. All of the department heads lent in. It was a little bit of a bumpy process this year. We had a lot of new department heads. I was new, so we were kind of learning how the village worked. So I appreciate everyone's patience throughout that process, and I look forward to doing it a little bit better next year.
Well, you've probably got a good kinship because you're able to muddle together forward, as a team.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I do have a comment that I'd like to make, with your permission. No, I just want to add that, as every year that this board does and the staff, put together a great budget. It's a budget for the growing community. We are poised for growth, and this budget takes into account what we need to do to meet that growth. And number one is that we are investing in our public safety. The village of Mount Pleasant, as long as I have been on the board, and most of us, we are very focused on the safety. We invest in our police and the fire and in the village, and doing all those things. I'm pleased that we are still able to have our mill rate one of the lowest, maybe the most lowest, and hopefully with the assessment, it will come to 5.96 or as close as it possible. So from that point of view, I'm very pleased to be part of this process. And again, it's a budget to continue to prepare the village for the growth that we are anticipating.
Rob, you need to save a few comments for when we make the motion, because you'll have to, follow up somehow.
Well, I'm sure that other trustees will make a motion too.
All right,
Make
so
comments.
thank you. So from here, we'll move to the public hearing part of it. This is where the public gets to weigh in and, make whatever comments they want to regarding the budget. As far as I know, we've got nobody signed up for public comment. Would the clerk confirm that? Nobody here signed up for public comment. Again, I'll go out to the chambers. Anybody wishing to speak on the budget, they may. Now's their chance. Going once, going twice. With nobody here willing to speak publicly regarding the budget, we can close the public hearing, and then we can move on to the motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve Resolution 23-2024, adopting the 2025 budget for all funds of the Village of Mount Pleasant and setting the 2024 tax levy of $25,712,600 and special charges.
So we have a motion and a second, and yeah, it's a good thing you corrected that because you have gotten really easy consent on that.
You can play the tape. You can play the tape of my previous comments.
Any thoughts on the budget?
Mr. President, I would echo a lot of what Trustee Boccia said. We spend in our various committees a lot of time looking at the budget and going over it. Our staff really are the ones that know what it takes to put their departments together and keep them running efficiently and effectively. And so we rely on their input. But additionally, I think we spend a lot of money wisely. We spend it to make sure we're moving forward properly, just as we discussed in committee of the whole earlier. a study that we had done. We invest in our employees and our staff, as well as the community through the budget. So, it's a process that does take several months, and this information is always available to be discussed with the public, and so I appreciate all the hard work that Kathy and Tammy and their staff do to put it together, but has a lot of input into it. That's all.
And I'll just echo, just for public knowledge, I know there's nobody here, but maybe somebody's watching. You know, again, what the staff does, a lot goes into this, and the department heads come in front of us and tell us why they need the money that they need, how it's being used, whether it's for equipment or whatever it might be, but it's really a pleasure for it to be so clear. Of course, there's a lot of numbers, so it's really not clear. But I appreciate the effort that goes into it from the staff and from the department heads, and the clarity that they give us and the reasons that they give us why we need to spend this money, and they're very, while they do that, they're still frugal in a way, understanding that we're within a budget. So nobody's coming up into us with a exorbitant request. They understand our mission, our goal, and I really appreciate that.
I think that the process did not appear to be bumpy from our direction, so I'm glad it's went smoothly from what I thought. And I think that the department heads made good choices. I know that they had to operate within a certain limit, and I think that they prioritized things that we could support. And I thank them for their work, and especially Kathy and Myra and Tammy.
Well, and again, prioritization, I think, is the key word here, and we get to that by going back to our foundational documents, our strategic plan, and the operations that come out of that. Yes, we don't have unlimited money. We don't have a money tree that we can shake, so we have to be responsible about where the money comes from and how it's spent and how we prioritize where it goes. And it's never easy, but it does seem to get a little bit easier when you have your basic set of principles, your strategic plan and so forth. That is kind of the beginning of, how do we best serve the community, and how do we make responsible decisions on putting forth a responsible and comprehensive budget that works.
You know,
Could I add one more thing? I neglected to also thank Heather. I know that she did a lot of work on this, and I appreciate that. This
conversation likens me back to sitting through budget meetings here in Mount Pleasant 20 years ago, and even sooner even less far away than that. But sitting in the room, listening to the board members or then the trustees discuss the budget, and this year the fire department has, they need a new fire truck, and they need it now. And we have, the town or the village, then much smaller, would have to figure out how to come up with, $1.2 million in a budget that wasn't prepared for it. And when we talk about this strategic plan, and when we talk about the work that our department heads do, that's what we have focused on, is planning ahead, so that we are saving money now for things that are appropriated in years out, and we are continuing to purchase equipment on an ongoing basis through that strategic plan that all the department heads have to work on. We're continuing to update our roads at a faster pace. We're continuing to manage our extensive sewer and stormwater systems. So because of the way we budget and that strategic plan, those projects become more manageable financially and accountable, so to speak. So I think that's one of the true things about the way the village budgets today and versus years ago. It's a huge difference, and it's a much smoother sail for our residents.
A responsible budget and no surprises.
Exactly.
Okay. So on the manner of the motion, regarding Resolution 23-2024, which is the budget. Let's do roll call.
Anastasio,
Aye.
Washburn,
Aye.
Bhatia,
Aye.
Venturini,
Aye.
Karas,
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye. Motion carries. Budget is approved. Okay, reports. Anybody have anything? I'd just like to say we went through another election cycle. Again, the board members are always pleased to see how well our elections are run. Again, you know, few items of interest in terms of the process. Early voting started weeks in advance, and when the big day came, it seems like in general, things went pretty smoothly. There was a reporting issue, I think, out of one of the precincts, but again, thanks to clerk treasurer, and the operation that you ran, I think it was a pretty smooth day.
Wasn't our turnout like 95, it was some huge number.
94%.
94%? What? That's crazy, you know, when you think about that interest, and just think if it were the old days where you all had to come in all in one day. Wow, that would have been bad. We'd still be counting votes.
Well, next election coming soon, November 21st primary. Are you ready?
When does early voting start for that primary, or is it already going? Wow.
Oh, and that's why the vote signs are still up. I was like, oh, let's take those down
Me
for
too.
at least a week, you
I
know?
almost said to Jill today, like, hey,
It's over.
I know you're tired, but, and then I realized it was for the next election.
Yeah, yeah.
How about one last motion?
On that happy note, Mr. President, motion to adjourn.
Second.
I hear a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.